Hey everybody, welcome to Money Chronicles live at the 2026 Fearless Investing Summit. I'm Johnny Sandquist.
And I'm Torie Happe.
I'm really excited. We've got Dan Zitting, CEO of Nitrogen. This is a big deal. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a bunch for having me. Well, or thanks for joining us, I guess.
Well, I mean, this Fearless is always one of the best conferences of the year.
Thank
so
you.
to kind of tap into your insights about what this week's all about, and also tap into who you are and what brought you to this point, is really what we want to dig into here. So, Torie, I'll let you kind of kick us off here.
Yeah, we started this podcast because the people of the industry kind of built it to what it is today, but we've never learned about the human behind why we built this industry the way we have. So we always start out wanting to know, what is your first money memory that you have?
That's funny. My earliest money memory is like in first grade. I'm totally all into baseball.
Okay.
And so I'm old enough. Baseball cards were a big deal at the time.
Oh, yeah. I was a huge collector.
Yeah. So was I. And the rule my dad made was I could buy whatever I want. I had to pay for half. Was kind of the rule as I was a kid. And so my earliest money memory is figuring out how to make enough money to pay for half of Bo Jackson's rookie card.
The big question is, do you still have your collection?
You know what? I do. It's somewhere buried at my mom's house.
Yeah.
So as long as it hasn't gotten lost over
treasures
time.
are still
hasn't
at our
gotten rid of
parents'
it.
house.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Hopefully you don't have the story of my uncles have this story, the sob story, where they had all these Lou Gehrig's and Babe Ruth cards and everything from that era when they were growing up, and my grandma threw all their cards away. So they were all like, if we still had these cards.
As far as I'm aware, mine still exists, but.
So everybody has their own very unique story about how they got to the place where they are right now. You're leading Nitrogen. Was it a goal of yours, right, to be like in the financial sector? Was it more of the technology that's kind of always been your career passion? I mean, just kind of what pivots and what paths took you here?
Yeah, so I suppose I've always been interested in finance. My parents owned a small business. I grew up in a small town. My parents owned a little hardware store in town as a kid. And so with that, I think pretty early getting introduced to the concepts of debt and cash flow and whatever. I was a finance major in college, got a master's degree in accounting, so I was a CPA by background. And like a lot of the folks here, I started, a lot of our advisor customers, I started at a big shop. In my case, Ernst & Young, left to start my own small practice. And just in my own small practice, we had a need for tech and no money to buy it. And so wrote our own tools as we got going to operate our firm. And just found the love for technology there, kind of the craftsmanship that's inherent in building software. And so it ended up clients were interested in that and whatever. So I pivoted that out, created a software company, and I've been doing software for 18 years since. And most of that was that same journey that I'd started through a couple of acquisitions, but grew up to the point where big enough company that I didn't know everybody anymore. I didn't enjoy it the same way. And so I got introduced to Aaron Klein, the founder of Nitrogen, Riskalyze at the time, and just found him to be, like, we hit it off from a value standpoint, very aligned on culture, those sorts of things. And I was just super interested in wealth management and what our advisors do, and they're very entrepreneurial, felt values aligned for me, and here I am.
Yeah, so I mean, the entrepreneurial streak is in your family genes, right?
I guess so. It feels very at home with all of our advisors here that have built these, these businesses all over the country.
Yeah,
same
absolutely.
kinds of things.
And I love that it's what we hear so often is that a lot of the companies that are built by advisors first, because they see the need and the value that technology is bringing to their firm, and they want to build it out, outwardly. My CEO is a builder by trade, an advisor by trade, and a builder by night, because he calls it, or a recovering advisor. So he built.
So funny. I introduced myself as a recovering accountant yesterday.
Yes.
So yes.
Roger Pine is always talking about how he saw a need right? And that's how he started Holistaplan. And but that advisory background helps you so much because you understand your clientele so well.
And it obviously worked there. It's a great product, great company.
Thank you.
It shows the passion for the practice for sure.
Yeah, it's always so fun to work with CEOs like you that you understand the value position that you're bringing because you were in their shoes, right? Like there's a connection.
Thank you.
there.
I hope so. Hope so.
We always start out with what's your first money memory, but then we always like to end with what is the biggest money mistake you've made and what did you learn from it?
The biggest money mistake I made. I'll say this. The first time I ever made like a lump sum of money is that company I started. It was called workpapers.com. It was very early in kind of cloud-based software. And I sold the business, and not for millions and millions of dollars or anything like that, but it was more money than I ever expected to see in one lump sum. And frankly, like, even though intuitively I align with fearless investing and I understand long-term investing and I was always just kind of a big indexer and whatever, I got this lump sum of money and was just scared.
Yeah.
And so I sat on it for like a year and a half.
Oh my goodness.
just
had it,
exhaling
like, in
until I
the
kind of figured out what to
savings
do with
account?
it.
Yeah.
It was like, it's funny now because now it's exactly the sort of thing that like I love seeing our clients get someone like me past.
Yep.
Was I didn't have that person that sparked the fearless moment for me with what I figured might be possibly the most money I'd ever make.
And isn't
right?
it funny because
So-
you feel like you're going to be like a risk 99er, like you've taken risks before. You
As
feel
an
very
entrepreneur,
You
especially.
feel very
Yeah.
confident in what you're going to do, and then it comes to you, and you like that paralysis because you don't know what to do. So then you're like, great, now I'm a risk one. Like, how is this possible?
That was my experience, and I am not a risk one. It was just a weird life moment.
Right.
Right, exactly. So I'm curious to get your perspective on something. As a practitioner who built software, we're at the age, right, with AI and vibe coding, where it's like there's probably a limitless frontier for advisors today to kind of be building their own things more than they ever could before, right? Like, how does this impact you guys and what you're building and how you're thinking about being just an irreplaceable piece of the system for
Like,
advisors?
it sounds so cliche, but by far, like, I went through the cloud is now a thing and how that changed the industry.
Yeah.
And it was enormous, and this is so much bigger and going so much faster.
Yeah.
And I would say, I think there's a lot of talk out there about, oh, is software going to get destroyed by this? Everybody's going to build their own. I just don't think that's true. What I think is incredible is where the risk is low. I think vibe coding is the coolest skill anybody can pick up right now.
Yeah.
And like, I would highly encourage everybody in professional roles, like, pick it up and do things like build your own personal productivity system, as an example. Like, even I myself have built my own system for where, like, keeps my to-dos and coaches me in the morning. Dan, don't forget to do that. Like, that sort of, it's low risk. I learn about how AI helps, all that sort of thing. And I think everybody should do that. At the same time, you know, in an industry like ours where bad advice ends in compliance penalty, I think there's a lot of space for companies like us that have to do, it's not so much the writing the individual code that's so hard, it's doing it at large performance scale with the guardrails that fit our industry, put the advisor in the driver's seat, et cetera. And if you were going to build all the tech you're going to do that all the time instead of talking to your clients.
Yeah.
So I think there's incredible power, but use it in the right places individually. And I would still seek out partners that are building, you know, we're all building software now faster than ever as well, that match your practice.
Yeah, I can't wait for your guys' keynote here in like 22 minutes.
22 minutes.
We're going to learn all about the velocity that you're building at, and I can't wait. Yeah.
Awesome.
I also appreciate that there's now a term, vibe coding, because reality is we've been vibe coding. If you're a millennial and you built your MySpace top 8 page with like your song in your background, little did we know that we were vibe coding, but like that was my first like introduction to like any sort of coding to get that like perfect, but now I appreciate that there's like a definition around.
Totally. Believe it or not, it was once hard to make web pages, and we had to vibe code web pages. That's right.
It was.
Absolutely. I'm just glad I don't have to know HTML anymore. Like,
Same.
I never got that good, so I'm in a much better spot here with Claude. Yeah. So, Dan, thank you. We should let you go so you can get to prep for the main stage, and thanks for joining us.
Right on. Well, thank you both.
Thank you so much.
For sure.